All right, we're about to dive into an idea that might just change how you see, well, everything, from your own mind to the stars in the sky. It's a theory called Panpsychism, and it asks a pretty radical question. And it all starts with this question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. Could a single electron have an inner life? Now, we're not talking about a soul in the religious sense, but some kind of basic, primitive form of consciousness.
As wild as that sounds, it is the absolute core of a philosophical theory called Panpsychism. And get this, while it might sound brand new, thinkers have been wrestling with this idea for centuries, trying to get a handle on the great mystery of consciousness.
So what is Panpsychism really? What is it actually proposing? Let's break down the core of this mind-bending idea.
At its heart, Panpsychism is the view that consciousness isn't some special rare thing that just popped up in complex brains like ours. No. Instead, it suggests that consciousness, or at least a very primitive form of it, is a fundamental and widespread feature of the universe itself.
So think about the basic building blocks of the universe, right? You've got space, you've got time, you've got matter. Well, Panpsychism argues we need to add one more thing to that list: consciousness. In this view, literally every entity, from the tiniest quark to a whole galaxy, has some tiny primitive flicker of experience.
Of course, an idea this radical has sparked centuries of debate. So let's take a look at the central arguments, both for and against. On one side, you've got proponents who say this makes consciousness a basic part of reality, not some random accident. They'll point to animals, even plants, as evidence of some kind of wider awareness. But on the other side, skeptics point to a huge hurdle. There's just no way to prove it. And even trying to define what consciousness means for a rock is a massive challenge. Plus, there's that nagging worry. Are we just projecting our own minds onto everything else?
Let's dig a little deeper into the case for it. Proponents often start with animals. I mean, we see such complex behaviors, problem-solving skills. It strongly suggests there's an inner world there. Some even point to plants, which can perceive light and respond to their environment in really sophisticated ways. For its supporters, Panpsychism is just an elegant solution. It doesn't try to explain how consciousness appeared from nothing. Instead, it says it was there all along, like a fundamental force of nature.
But the case against it is just as strong. The biggest problem? The total lack of hard empirical evidence. I mean, how could you possibly test if a rock is conscious? There's also this huge logical puzzle called the combination problem. It's like, okay, even if an electron has a speck of consciousness, how do trillions of them combine to create the single, rich, unified experience you're having right now? And that leads to the toughest critique. Is this all just anthropocentrism? Are we just seeing our own minds reflected everywhere we look?
Okay, so beyond the back and forth of the philosophical debate, let's just entertain this idea for a moment. If we do, it forces us to ask some truly profound questions about our world and our place in it. For starters, what would this mean for our ideas about creation? If consciousness has always been a part of the universe, woven right into its fabric, how does that change the whole story of a creator bringing a non-conscious world to life?
And then you have the ethical questions. If other things, animals, plants, maybe even rivers and mountains have some kind of inner experience, what are our responsibilities to them? It completely reframes our relationship with the entire natural world. And really, it challenges our own special place in the cosmos. If consciousness isn't unique to us, are we just one small, really complex note in a universal symphony of awareness? Does that humble us, or does it actually connect us more deeply to everything else? When you boil it all down, Panpsychism forces us to make a fundamental choice. Is consciousness a beautiful, improbable accident that's unique to complex brains like ours? Or is it the background music of the universe, a song that everything is playing together? There's no easy answer, but it leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to carry with us. The next time you look at the world around you, at a pet, a tree, or even just a stone on the ground, what will you see? A collection of lifeless objects or something more?